Today we are going to start the theory session of yoga instructor course, which is affiliated to SVYASA Bangalore and conducted by Swami Vivekananda Institute, Mancheriala. We will just start this session with 3 ohms. Sit comfortably, gently close your eyes, make your body relaxed. Join both palms together. So today's concept, let me share my screen. Last week we were discussing about Panchakosha Viveka or Panchakoshas. So we have explained how Taittiriya Upanishad have given the Panchakosha theory or Panchakoshas, a beautiful concept which explains how our body is created with layers and what is the functionality of each layer. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, where the Annamaya Kosha was prepared with food, or it is made up of the food we eat, that is Anna, and it is the only physical layer which is seen by everyone or which is visible to our naked eye. The second layer was the Pranamaya Kosha, which is made up of breath or life force. It could be felt, and as well as we could feel the air, as well as we can sense it. We can't see it. Whereas the Manomaya Kosha, which deals with our mind, Chitta, Buddhi, Ahankara, so all the manifestations of the Prakriti, which deals with Manomaya Kosha. Next comes the Vijnanamaya Kosha. It deals with the knowledge which a human being ends throughout his lifetime, that is the experiences which he feels from interactions with the outer world. And then comes the last kosha, that is the Anandamaya Kosha, which is also known as the bliss layer. So that is the ultimate layer, and every human being wants to always keep in Ananda. He wants to be in Ananda. That is the Anandamaya layer. So this Panchakosha Viveka or the Panchakosha topic which we have discussed. So each and every layer has its own functionality, and we have gone through all that one. We are going to another topic which is which is very much related to the Panchakosha theory. So how yogic concept or how disease is explained in the yogic concept. If you see, brain is the organ which deals with our mind. Usually we say the brain controls everything. So that is nothing but the mind. So always the mind will be having so many thoughts, countless thoughts. We can't count how many thoughts a person thinks in one simple seconds. He would be sitting at one place and he could wander all over the world. That means the mind is always restless. Even while we are sleeping, mind keeps on working. So restless mind will be there. And this mind, when it starts thinking about outward world or external facts or external people, how we are interacting and how we deal with these situations. So the mind, while it is in restless, then the functionality of the mind, how the mind works is excess speed. It is not going a normal speed. When we think of many things, the speed is increased in the mind. That is, the thinking capacity of the mind has been increased. If our mind is restless, it would lead to stress. What is meant by stress? Stress is nothing but, to say in a very simple term, we are expecting something, but the actual is different. The reality is different from the expected outcome. So when we expect something and it is not happening, and we are seeing something other than the expected thing, then our body will start feeling stress. So this stress will lead to diseases. This stress, that means restless mind, will start giving diseases. And if the mind starts working at a more speed, say, take an example of car. So the maximum capacity of how the driving speed of the car would be something, the specifications of a car, while they are manufacturing it, they will give that this car would be driven at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. Like, for example, a scooter, 120 kilometers per hour. Do that means, can't we drive the car more than the specified speed? The designated speed is 120 kilometers per hour. Can't we go more than 120 kilometers? Yes, you can go. Then what happens? If we are going too much speed, that is more than the prescribed speed, the manufacturer won't give guarantee. That means either you will die, or the scooter or the vehicle which you are driving, it would crash. We don't know. So we have tested the scooter or an electronic device with particular speed, that is the maximum limit, and some minimum limit has been given. So we should go according to that speed. If you are taking more speed, that means if you are driving over speed, then there would be no control on the device. The same thing happens with our mind. If our mind is thinking too much, and if it is going at a speed more than designated speed, you will lose control of what you are doing. Your body will lose control. If our body is losing control, that means all the layers, one by one, each layer, the Annamaya layer, that is the physical layer, the Pranamaya layer, the Manomaya layer, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, every layer will start collapsing. All the layers would be removed. That means we are going to collapse. Entire body is going to collapse. That is not we want. We want to have our body, which is the vehicle of our soul, that must go with a specified speed. So the basic concept of disease, it arises from our mind. That is what depicted in this figure. So all the diseases will start from the third layer, that is the Manomaya Kosha. So usually what is the term we call for disease? Vyadhi. Usually disease means Vyadhi. If we divide the term Vyadhi, Va plus Adhi, that is Va plus Adhi is good, that is a Sandhi. Va plus Adhi, that is the Vyadhi. So if you want to understand the concept of Vyadhi, we need to understand the concept of Adhi. What is the root cause of the disease? Vyadhi is nothing but disease. Adhi is nothing but from where it is starting. When we say, who originates this world? Who is ruling this world? Adi Parashakti or Adi Shiva. That is, Adi is nothing but the Moolam, the root. So the root of the Vyadhi is nothing but the Adi. Then what does Adi means? So Adis are nothing but which starts. Right now we have explained all the Adis will start from Manomaya Kosha. The mind is the root cause of all our diseases. Whatever disease you can take, whether it is BP or whether it is diabetes, whether it is a psychosomatic disease, for example, anxiety, stress, tension, whichever disease. Again, coming here, disease doesn't mean a displacement of the organ or a breakdown of organ. Disease means displace ease. If we are not able to do anything with ease, it is known as disease. So stress is also a disease. BP, blood pressure is a disease. Diabetes is a disease. Anxiety means if you want to do something, if your body is trembling, that is anxiety. Nervousness, you want to speak something, you are thinking in your mind, but the words are not coming out. That is nervousness. Whatever, if your body is not able to do with ease, that is known as disease. And the root cause, that is Adi of all diseases, starts from the Manomaya Kosha. So that's what has been explained. That is the laws of mental equipoise or equipoise. Samastiti. Samastiti means our body will be in equilibrium state. Sama, everything should be taken in equality. So dvanda, whatever the dvandas are there, dvandas means good, bad, heat, cold, whatever is happening, our mental state should not lose its balance. If we are losing the mental balance, that would start giving Adis or Vyadis. So if we are losing the mental balance, that is because there is no control between the balance has been broken between the mind and the body. So the first point says that if any disease is occurring in the physical layer, that is because of the breakdown or the losing balance between the mind and the body. This has been already discovered thousands of years back in yoga itself. So what they are saying is, or what yoga explains is that our consciousness. So everyone have their consciousness. What do you mean by consciousness? The soul which lives within our body. That is Atma, our Atma. If you're trying to do something, sometimes Atma Gosha, like if you're doing some bad thing, if you're very aware of your mental thoughts, for example, you are working in a government office and someone is trying to bribe you, if your mental balance is very good, if someone is trying to bribe you to make his work happen, then automatically, if you're aware of your thoughts, if you're aware of your consciousness, it would tell you this is wrong, don't do it. You are going against the nature of your own self nature. So the consciousness, this consciousness, when it is operating very freely without any attachment to the outer world, then your body will be disease free. So consciousness should always be working freely without any attachment. To say very simply, మన మనసు outside బయట ఉండే ప్రాపంచిక విశేషాలతో ఉండే రిలేషన్షిప్ ని కట్ చేసుకోవాలి. దేని మీద కూడా మనము ధ్యాసను కానీ లేదా భోగాల్ని అనుభవించాలని కానీ దాని మీద మన మనస్సును పెట్టకూడదు. ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఈస్ నో అటాచ్మెంట్, ఇఫ్ అవర్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ is not attached to any of the external worlds, then our consciousness would be very free and our body will be free from the diseases, and ultimately it would lead to ananda. That is, we will reach to the fifth layer, anandamaya kosha. And at the same time, they have also explained that if our body is working in control with our mind, then we won't have any diseases. But if our body is losing the control, or if the mind is losing the control, definitely our body will go through illness. That is, diseases will be occurring if there is no control. Let us see how these diseases come from the Manonmaya Kosha. So this slide, the previous slide says that all the Adhi starts from the Manonmaya Kosha. Let us see how it could be seen at the physical level. So once the Adhi starts, how Vyadhi is seen, or how Vyadhi is recognized by a doctor. So when you get some Vyadhi, you will go to a doctor. Obviously, you will go to a physician, you will go to an Ayurveda doctor, homeopathy, whoever it is, you will go and check with the doctor. So physical level, only when Adhis start, it would be only identified as a Vyadhi when we go and recognize, or when we go and test it. In general, the first layer, that is the Anandamaya Kosha, or the uppermost layer, the topmost layer, Anandamaya Kosha, if a person is very happy and if the person is having balance in all of its five faculties means the Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas. If all these things are very coordinating with all the five senses, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, if everything is in control, Anandamaya Kosha, the man would be very perfect. He will be having no problem at all. Whereas if there is any disturbance in an Anandamaya Kosha, then we can see that in Vijnanamaya Kosha, the person won't be having any right direction. That means if there is no control, or if the person is not having the attitude to know which is right or which is bad, how to channel his energy, how to look at things, what is the experience he is gaining, whether this is a good experience or whether it is a bad experience. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, there will be some movements in our mind, but if a person is very healthy, he knows how to channel his movements, how to channel his mind. So please try to understand that in Anandamaya Kosha, everything will be in control, balance of all his faculties. That is, everything, all the five senses will be working, and Samadhi. Samadhi means all the five things will be concentrated at only one point, everything in control. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, there will be a slight movement. He is unable to keep that concentration for longer times, but at least he will know where to channel his direction. Whereas in Manomaya Kosha, here, this is the layer, as we explained, where the movements won't be channeled towards the right direction. It will move sometimes like this, sometimes like this. That is, the movement is not in a right way. It is zigzag. It goes from here to there. It jumps. There is no particular direction. There is no coordination. So according to yoga test, that is Yoga Vasishta, they say that all the imbalances in our mind starts from the manomaya layer. As we explained, Adis will start from the manomaya layer. Once the imbalance starts, these imbalances will show in our breath. That is, if a person is too much stressed, just imagine, if a person is too much stressed, if you observe his breath will be not in a uniform manner. His breath pattern will be very much different. Either his inhalation will be more or the exhalation will be less. Have you ever wondered, when you are in very angry, your breath would be like this? ముక్కు పుట్టలు అదురుతున్నాయి అంటారు. కోపంలో అతని ముక్కు పుట్టలు అదురుతూ ఉన్నాయి. దట్ మీన్స్ యువర్ నాస్ట్రిల్స్, you are taking fast inhalation, fast exhalation. Your breath rate would be very much increased when you are in a anger mode. Whereas when you are in a very happy mood, that means when there is no stress, your breath flow will be very slow, very smooth. It would be in peace. Longer inhalation and deeper inhalation and longer exhalation. That is the case when there is no stress. So if the mind is not balanced, or if the mind is having any problem, you can definitely identify in your pranamaya kosha. So in pranamaya kosha, your breath rate would be changed. When this pranamaya kosha is not in a balance, and if you are able to see that there is differences in your breath pattern, that would affect to what we say unhealthy thinking. Or when you are in too much stress, people start eating food, whatever, to get out of that stress. They want to have some coffee, they want to go there and drink something, they want to have different fast foods, unhygienic food. They don't know that this food is going to make them healthy or not. So all kinds of unhealthy food, they start having unhealthy food. And when they are in anger, they don't know what they are doing. They will do so many wrong things. So all these things, when the pranamaya kosha is in imbalance, will start showing in our annamaya kosha. So when this annamaya kosha is affected by pranamaya kosha, the Vyadhis would come. So these Vyadhis are known as secondary diseases. So all the secondary diseases will be seen in the physical layer, and all the Adhis will be seen from the third layer, that is the manomaya layer.